You ever wonder why some guys who aren't rich, ripped, or even all that good looking, somehow have women completely hooked on them? Meanwhile, the nice guys, the ones who text first, always say yes, always try to do everything right, get ignored, ghosted, or worse, disrespected. It's frustrating, isn't it? You might be thinking, what am I missing? Well, here's the raw truth nobody really talks about. It's not about being the nicest guy in the room. It's not about flashy cars or throwing money around. The real secret? It's learning how to ignore her. Sounds crazy, right? But stick with me. This isn't about being rude or playing games. It's about understanding human nature, mastering your emotions, and becoming the kind of man who naturally draws people in without even trying. Because when you stop chasing, stop seeking her approval, and start focusing on your own life, something powerful happens. Suddenly, you're the one she notices, the one she can't stop thinking about. If you're tired of doing everything right and still getting overlooked, listen closely. What I'm about to share could change the way you see relationships and yourself forever. All right, if you're ready, let's dive in. Let's dive into why ignoring a woman can have such a powerful effect. It's probably not what you think. In today's world, especially with social media, women, particularly those who are even moderately attractive, are getting bombarded with attention all the time. Every time she opens Instagram, it's a flood of likes, heart emojis, and hey, beautiful DMs from guys hoping to catch her eye. Step outside, same thing. Random guys trying to get her number, buy her a drink, or just get a second of her time. It's non-stop. Now here's where most guys mess up. When you come along and do exactly what every other guy is doing, showering her with compliments, texting her non-stop, trying to prove how much you like her, you're not standing out. You're blending in with the noise. You become just another face in the crowd, easily forgettable, easily ignored. But when you pull back, when you don't fall over yourself to get her attention, when you don't act like she's the center of your universe, you immediately stand out. You send a message without saying a word. I'm not like the rest. And that's when things shift. See, ignoring her isn't just some trick or tactic. It taps into something deeper, something wired into human behavior. We want what we can't easily have. It's that simple. Scarcity creates value. Think about this. If you could have anything you wanted, anytime, it wouldn't feel special. But the minute something becomes rare, hard to get, it suddenly feels more valuable. So when you stop handing out your attention like free samples at a grocery store, when you pull back, you become that rare, valuable thing. But let's be clear, this isn't about ghosting her or disappearing completely. That's just immature. It's about creating just enough distance to pique her curiosity. To make her wonder, why isn't he trying to impress me like everyone else? It's about showing her, without words, that you're not desperate for her validation because you've got your own life, your own goals, and you're not revolving around her world. And that, right there, is where the real power lies. This is where most guys get it wrong. Ignoring a woman only works if you've built value first. Let's be real. If you're sitting on your couch all day, scrolling through Instagram, eating junk food, playing video games, and doing nothing productive with your life, ignoring her isn't going to make her chase you. Why? Because you've given her nothing to notice in the first place. You can't just sit back, do nothing, and expect women to suddenly be interested. It doesn't work that way. Imagine walking into a room full of women while you're out of shape, wearing sloppy clothes, and clearly lacking any direction or confidence. Do you honestly think that ignoring them is going to make them curious about you? Of course not. You'll be invisible, plain and simple. Now, flip that around. Picture yourself walking into that same room, but this time you're confident. You're well-dressed, you're in shape, and you've got that energy that says, I know who I am, and I know where I'm going. Now, when you don't immediately shower her with attention, that's when she starts to notice. She's wondering, who is this guy? Why isn't he trying to impress me like everyone else? That's the difference. If you want to play this game, you have to become someone worth paying attention to, and that means putting in the work. Hit the gym, not just to look good, but to feel strong and confident in your own skin. Get your finances in order, not to flash your wealth, but to build a life of stability and independence. Dive into your passions, develop hobbies that make you interesting, and start living a life that excites you. When you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, something amazing happens. You stop feeling the need to chase. You're not out there trying to prove yourself to anyone. And that's when they start noticing you. Women can sense when a man has his life together, when he's confident and fulfilled on his own. That kind of energy, it's magnetic. It draws people in, not just women, but friends, opportunities, success. So remember, ignoring only works when you've got something to back it up. Be the man who's worth ignoring, and you'll find you're the man who doesn't need to chase. This is where Stoicism comes into play. Because no matter how confident or successful you are, if you can't control your emotions, you've already lost. Period. See, women will test you. It's not because they're trying to be mean or manipulative. It's instinctual. It's part of how they gauge who you are. They'll say little things to push your buttons, act in ways that trigger a reaction just to see if you'll crack. And most guys, they fall right into the trap. They get defensive, emotional, maybe even angry. They argue, they chase, they lose all sense of control. And the moment that happens, the attraction is gone. But when you're grounded in Stoic principles, you don't react. You stay calm, cool, and collected, no matter what's thrown your way. This isn't about being cold or pretending you don't care. It's about maintaining control over your emotional state, regardless of what's happening around you. The man who can control his emotions controls the dynamic. Imagine this. She throws a snarky comment your way, maybe trying to make you jealous, maybe trying to get a rise out of you. Most guys would bite, fire back with something defensive, try to prove themselves. But you just smile, shrug it off, maybe even laugh a little, and move on. No drama, no emotional roller coaster. And that's powerful. Women are drawn to men who are unshakable. When you don't flinch in the face of her tests, when you can walk away from emotional chaos without breaking a sweat, you become rare. And rare is always attractive. Think about this. In a world where most people are ruled by their emotions, where everyone's quick to react, the person who can stay grounded, who can stay calm and centered, that person stands out. So mastering your emotions isn't just about relationships. It's about becoming the kind of man who's in control of himself. And when you're in control of yourself, you naturally start to control the world around you. That's the Stoic advantage. Be calm in the storm, and you'll find people gravitating towards you, because everyone's looking for that steady, unshakable energy. Now, let's talk about something that kills attraction faster than anything else. Desperation. The moment she senses that you need her attention, it's game over. She's gone. And why is that? Because desperation screams, "You're my only option." And trust me, no one, man or woman, wants to feel like they're someone's last hope. Women are naturally attracted to men who have options, men who are fulfilled on their own, men who don't need anyone to feel complete. Now think about the typical nice guy. You know the one. He's always texting her first, always showering her with compliments, always available whenever she calls. And what happens? She's not interested. She might appreciate the attention for a little while, but deep down she's not attracted to him. Because his desperation is obvious. And here's the kicker. Desperation doesn't just come from what you say. It's in your energy, your vibe. She can feel it when you're trying too hard, when you're over-invested, when you're making her the center of your world. Now contrast that with the guy who's too busy living his own life to constantly check his phone. The guy who's focused on his goals, his passions, his purpose. That's the guy who lingers on her mind. Because he's not throwing himself at her. He's not desperate for her time or validation. And that makes him magnetic. So how do you eliminate desperation? It starts with your mindset. You need to adopt what's called an abundance mindset. You have to truly believe and know that there are plenty of amazing women out there. She's not the only one. She's not the last chance for happiness. And when you really understand that, something shifts. You stop feeling desperate. You stop over-investing. And ironically, that's when you become more attractive. Because when the less you need her, the more she'll want you. When you're not chasing, when you're not clinging, you create space for her to come to you. So focus on your life. Build your value. Trust that there are endless opportunities out there. And when you carry that energy, you'll find that people, not just women, but everyone, will be drawn to you. Because confidence isn't just about believing in yourself. It's about knowing you don't need anyone else to feel whole. Eliminate desperation, and you'll unlock a level of attraction you never knew existed. So, before we move on to art number 5, we want to take a moment to thank you for accompanying us halfway through this video journey. In every moment, we can learn and grow. And the fact that you are here listening and reflecting with us is a tremendous gift that I cherish every minute. To help us spread these valuable lessons to even more people, please hit the like and share buttons for this video. Each share is a small but meaningful act, much like the timeless lessons Stoicism offers. Let's continue exploring and embracing these everlasting pieces of wisdom together. Once again, thank you for your continued support. Here's where a lot of guys mess up. They think ignoring a woman means cutting her off completely, like disappearing into thin air or going totally radio silent. But that's not the move. It's not about neglect. It's about subtlety. See, if you suddenly stop texting or vanish without any warning, she's not going to be intrigued. She's going to assume you've lost interest and she'll move on. Simple as that. But if you gradually pull back, if you start taking a little longer to reply, being just a bit less available, that's when you hit the sweet spot. You create just enough space, just enough mystery to make her wonder, what's going on? Why isn't he as eager as before? That curiosity is exactly what you want to spark. And let's be clear, you're not ghosting her. You're not playing childish games or trying to make her feel bad. You're signaling that your time is valuable. That you're not just handing out your attention like it's nothing. Because it's not nothing. Your time, your energy, your presence, it's all valuable. And when you start acting like it, other people will start treating it that way too. The goal here isn't to disappear completely. That's too extreme, and honestly, it's a rookie mistake. The goal is to make her work just a little harder for your attention. Maybe you don't respond to that text within seconds like you used to. Maybe when she asks to hang out, you're genuinely busy with your own life and goals. This isn't fake or forced. It's just the natural result of focusing on yourself. And that's where the real magic happens. When you're subtle, when you create that slight distance, you keep things exciting. You're not overexposed and you're not predictable. She doesn't know exactly when you'll text back or when you'll be free, and that unpredictability, it keeps you on her mind. It keeps her invested. So remember, it's all about balance. Too much distance, and she'll think you're not interested. Too little, and you're back to being just another guy giving her all the attention she's used to. But when you find that perfect middle ground, where you're present but not overly available, that's when you become irresistible. Subtlety is your secret weapon. Use it wisely. Now, let's talk about something that most guys completely overlook: the power of silence. In a world obsessed with constant communication, where everyone's always texting, calling, posting, and replying, silence becomes your greatest weapon. See, most men panic when there's a gap in conversation. They rush to fill every little pause because they're afraid that silence means losing her interest. They think, if I don't reply right away, she'll forget about me. But here's the truth. It's the exact opposite. When you're comfortable with silence, you instantly become more attractive. Why? Because it shows confidence. It shows that you're not desperate for her attention, and you're not sitting around waiting on her every word. When you don't feel the need to reply instantly, when you don't over-explain or overshare, you create mystery. And mystery? That's powerful. Think about this. When someone doesn't immediately respond to your message, what happens? You start to wonder, what are they doing? Why aren't they replying? It sticks in your mind, doesn't it? Now flip that around. Let her sit with the silence. Let her wonder why you're not texting back right away. Let her think about you. Because when you stop giving her constant, easy access to your attention, you become the one she's thinking about when she checks her phone. You become the one she's curious about. And that curiosity is the spark that keeps attraction alive. Remember, silence isn't about ignoring her completely. It's about being intentional with your responses. You're not ghosting, you're just not rushing. You're showing that your time is valuable, and you're not afraid to create space. And that space, that's where the magic happens. It gives her time to miss you, to think about what you're doing, to want to hear from you. Most guys are so quick to reply that they never give a woman the chance to miss them. But when you master the art of silence, you flip the script. You're not chasing her attention, you're letting her come to you. Silence speaks volumes. It shows confidence, it builds intrigue, and it makes you stand out in a world where everyone else is talking nonstop. So don't be afraid of the quiet moments. Embrace them. Let the silence do the work for you. Because when you're the man who's comfortable with silence, you're the man she can't stop thinking about. Now, here's a truth that a lot of guys struggle with. A man without boundaries will always be taken for granted. It's just the way it is. If you don't set the line, people, women included, will keep pushing to see how far they can go. And it's not about them being malicious or disrespectful on purpose. It's just human nature. We all test limits, even without realizing it. And remember, Women respect men who know their worth. They respect men who aren't afraid to walk away when someone crosses the line. Whether it's flakiness, disrespect, or playing games, you need to set clear boundaries and, more importantly, enforce them. Because having boundaries isn't just about what you say, it's about what you're willing to do when those boundaries are tested. Let's say she cancels plans at the last minute. Most guys, they'll brush it off like it's no big deal, saying, "It's okay, I understand, maybe next time." But here's what that communicates. It tells her that your time isn't valuable, that you're willing to be flexible no matter how she treats you. And that's when you start getting taken for granted. Instead, try this. I don't tolerate last-minute cancellations. Let me know when you're serious about meeting up. Simple, direct, and it sends a powerful message. I value my time, and I'm not going to let you waste it. Now, some might think that sounds harsh, but it's not. That's called self-respect. And here's the beautiful part. Self-respect is magnetic. When you set boundaries, you're not being rude or confrontational. You're just showing that you have standards. And standards are attractive because they show that you're not desperate, that you're not going to bend over backward for someone who isn't meeting you halfway. And it doesn't stop with just cancellations. Maybe she's constantly late, or she makes little jabs to test your patience. Whatever it is, you have to let her know where the line is. And more importantly, you have to stick to it. Because the minute you set a boundary but don't enforce it, you've lost all credibility. But when you stand firm, when you show that you're willing to walk away if your boundaries aren't respected, that's when you gain real respect. Boundaries create value. They show that your time, your energy, and your presence aren't things you give away freely. And the more value you place on yourself, the more others will value you too. So don't be afraid to draw the line. Don't be afraid to say, "This is what I expect, and if you can't meet it, that's fine, but I'm not lowering my standards." Because the man who knows his worth, who sets and enforces boundaries, is the man who becomes the prize. If there's one thing you take from all of this, let it be this. Your purpose comes first. Always. Women should never be the center of your life. Your goals, your passions, your growth, that is where your focus should be. Because when you're a man on a mission, when you're chasing something bigger than just a relationship, women naturally gravitate towards you. It's not even something you have to try for. It's just how it works. People, not just women, are drawn to those who are driven, who have direction, who know what they want, and are actively going after it. But the moment you make a woman the center of your world, the second you start putting her above your ambitions, you lose your power. You become dependent on her for validation, for happiness, for purpose. And that's when attraction fades. Because no one wants to be the source of someone else's entire sense of worth. Imagine this. You're grinding, building your career, working on your fitness, pursuing your passions, living your life to the fullest. You're too busy building your empire to worry about chasing anyone. And guess what? That energy is magnetic, because it shows confidence, independence, and ambition. You're not waiting around for someone to complete you. You're already complete. Now, compare that to the guy who drops everything the moment a woman gives him attention. The guy who rearranges his whole schedule to be available for her, who's constantly checking in, making her the focus of his every thought. That kind of energy? It feels needy. It feels like pressure. And remember, women want to be part of a man's life, not his entire life. They want to feel like they're joining you on a journey, not becoming the destination. So focus on your purpose. Pour your energy into becoming the best version of yourself. Chase your dreams, not people. When you're living with passion and purpose, you won't need to chase women. They'll notice you. They'll want to be around that energy. And even better, you'll find that you're no longer looking for someone to fill a void. You're looking for someone who adds to your already fulfilling life. So be the man who's too busy building his empire to worry about who's texting back. Because when you focus on your purpose, everything else, including the right people, will naturally fall into place. Now, if there's one mindset that'll completely change the way you approach relationships, it's this. Stoicism is your secret weapon. It's not just some old philosophy from ancient times. It's a powerful tool that, when applied, makes you stand out in ways you can't imagine. Stoicism teaches you to control your emotions, to focus only on what you can control, and to remain calm, no matter what kind of chaos is swirling around you. And trust me, in relationships, that kind of calm, it's gold. When you apply Stoic principles, you become the calm in the storm, the steady, unshakable rock that women want to lean on. Think about this. Life's unpredictable, emotions run high, and people, whether they realize it or not, will test you, especially in relationships. Women might test you to see how solid you really are. She might push your buttons, create a little drama, or throw in a sarcastic jab just to see how you react. But it's not about the test. It's about your response. Most guys, they fall right into the trap. They get defensive, emotional, maybe even argue back, trying to prove their point. But you're different. You stay grounded. You don't react emotionally. You don't let little things shake your peace. And when you show her that nothing rattles you, that you're in full control of yourself, that's not just attractive, it's irresistible. Because the truth is, women are naturally drawn to men who are steady, who don't lose their cool, who can handle life's ups and downs with grace. It signals strength, leadership, and confidence. And those qualities, they're timeless. Imagine you're in a situation where she's trying to stir the pot. Maybe she says something to get a reaction or acts in a way that most guys would find frustrating. Instead of taking the bait, you just smile, maybe even laugh it off, and move on like it's nothing. That response? It flips the entire dynamic. She expected you to react, to get flustered, but you didn't. And that makes you stand out from every other guy who would have lost his cool. Stoicism isn't about suppressing your emotions or pretending you don't care. It's about recognizing that you control how you respond to the world. You choose whether to let something bother you. And when you carry that energy into your relationships, you become the one in control, not of her, but of yourself. And that, my friend, is the ultimate power. So, next time you feel the urge to react, pause, take a breath, ask yourself, is this worth my energy? More often than not, the answer will be no. Stay grounded, stay calm, and let your inner peace speak louder than any words ever could. Because when you apply Stoicism in your relationships, you don't just become more attractive, you become unforgettable. All right, here's the final piece of the puzzle. Patience. And I'm telling you, in today's world of instant gratification, where everything is just a click away, patience isn't just rare, it's powerful. Everyone's in a rush. We want quick responses, fast results, instant connections. But real attraction doesn't work like that. It's not built overnight. It takes time to develop something meaningful, something that lasts. And the man who understands this, the man who doesn't rush or force things, he's the one who always wins in the long run. Think about it. Most guys, the moment they feel a spark, they dive in headfirst. They bombard her with texts, try to lock things down immediately, and push for more attention. But that rush, it usually backfires. It feels needy, it feels overwhelming, and it kills the natural flow of attraction. But you're different. You play the long game. You let things unfold naturally. You're not in a hurry because you know that anything worth having is worth waiting for. And that patience, it sets you apart. It shows confidence. It shows that you're in control, not just of the situation, but of yourself. You're not desperate for her attention because you trust the process. You know that if it's meant to be, it will be, and you don't need to force it. And here's the beautiful part. The more patient you are, the more valuable you become in her eyes. Why? Because patience signals that you have options, that you're not rushing because you're not afraid of losing her. You're secure in yourself, and that security is magnetic. Think of it like this. When you're playing chess, the best players aren't the ones who make impulsive moves. They're the ones who think ahead, who wait for the right moment, who know when to act and when to hold back. The same applies to relationships. The more you trust in patience, the more powerful you become. So don't rush the connection. Don't push for things to move faster than they should. Let her wonder. Let her miss you. Let the attraction build at its own pace. Because when you do, you create something real, something lasting, and that's when you become unforgettable. Patience isn't just about waiting. It's about knowing that the best things in life take time. And when you master that, you don't just win the game. You change the entire playing field. Mastering the art of ignoring a woman isn't about games or manipulation. It's about mastering yourself, your emotions, your time, your purpose. When you focus on building your value, setting firm boundaries, and embracing Stoic principles, something powerful happens. You stop chasing, and people start chasing you. Not because you're withholding attention, but because you've built a life so fulfilling, so complete, that you no longer need anyone's validation. And that self-assured confidence? That's magnetic. So forget the endless pursuit. Focus on your growth, your goals, and your purpose. The right people, the ones who genuinely value you, will find their way into your life. Thanks for being with Stoic Heart on this journey today. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our latest videos. We'd love to hear your thoughts or suggestions for future topics, so drop a comment below. See you in the next video.